Okay, we are still in Brookwood Cemetery, and the first person I want to introduce you to is Gottlieb Leitner, Gottlieb Wilhelm Leitner, and he was born in Pest, Budapest, and his parents were Jewish, and for a few years he was brought up as a Jew, but his father died when he was a very young boy, and his mother moved to Turkey shortly afterwards, to Istanbul in fact, and there she remarried a Mr. Leitner. And Mr. Leitner, he was a Jewish gentleman as well, who had converted to Protestantism and had become a clergyman, and he was on a mission to convert Jewish people to the Protestant faith. And when Gottlieb was there, he was educated alongside other Muslim children, and he very quickly learnt Arabic and Turkish. But the man was a wizard with languages, and he knew most European languages by the time he was in his early teens. He was a phenomenon. And in fact, when the Crimean War broke out, he was employed by the British as a first-class interpreter because of his knowledge of Turkish, Russian, French, English, all of the people involved in that war. He knew their languages, and he was given the honorary title of Colonel at the age of 16. I think I'd have retired after that, but he then went on to study in King's College in London, and he got a degree in divinity, and he became a great traveller. But that was only when he was about in his mid-20s he moved out of England. But when he was actually at when he was actually at King's College, he became a professor when he was very young, and a lecturer and so on. But then he moved to India, where he became the principal of this university in both the Punjab and in India itself. And he was just a phenomenon when he was there. And the English, they thought, oh, brilliant, we've got a teacher here, and he will turn out English-speaking Indians who will be able to work in our civil service. But that wasn't what Gottlieb was about at all. He placed as much emphasis on Sanskrit and Arabic, the religious languages of India, so that there could be a real exchange of cultures. He was explaining to the Indians English culture, and to the English Indian culture. And he ruffled a few feathers. One of the other things he used to have soirees, meetings in the evenings, and Indians would freely mix with the English. And there was a reason for this. He wanted a cross-pollination of the cultures. The English didn't like it at all, but the aristocracy in India loved him, and he was embraced by them. But he studied languages there, and he explored regions that hadn't been opened, and he researched the languages, obscure languages in Tibet and so on. He went travelling through the Himalayas, and all of his guides and a lot of people with him suffered snow blindness. And, he was a real kind of an Indiana Jones character. He also opened a bank, and he also opened a newspaper. He opened the Military Gazette, the Civil and Military Gazette, and also the Indian Public Opinion. And none other than Rudyard Kipling was on the editorial board of these publications. In the fullness of time, he returned to England, and he wanted to set up a similar institution here. And when he came to Woking, as I mentioned in the last video, but when he came back here, he wanted to open up a similar institution, and he was in Woking, and he found um, an institution that was set up for actors, and it had actually turned into a retirement home for actors. And Charles Dickens was on the board looking after these retired actors, and he bought it with donations. Anyway, with funds from Begum Shah Jahan, he set up the Oriental Institution in Woking. And at the time of his death, he was actually issuing degrees from there. Sadly, he fell ill and he travelled to Bonn to take in the waters at the various spas there. But sadly, he passed away. And with his demise, his institution was neglected. But he's, the thing that is left from there is the mosque itself, which I've shown you in a previous video. And one of the things that I notice on this fine monument here is at the very bottom, in Arabic, is written Al-ilm khayrun min al-mal. So it says knowledge is better than wealth. And this is a saying of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. And this man really lived by this creed. Okay, may God have mercy on his soul and on ours.